Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today, I'm going to be talking about Teacher's Pet. Teacher's Pet is a 2004 animated theatrical release. It's directed by Timothy Bjorklund. Unit animation direction by Dante, Clemente, editing by Nancy Frazen, music by Stephen James Taylor, and it's written by Bill and Cherie Steinkellner. This is based off the television series, which I have never seen. I knew about it briefly, but I had never seen an episode. It does star Nathan Lane as Spot, Shaun Fleming as Leonard, Debra Rupp as Mrs. Helperman, Kelsey Grammer as Dr. Crank, David Ogden Stiers as Jolly, and Jerry Stiller as Pretty Boy. This serves as the series finale to the show, and it was animated at Walt Disney Television Animation and Toon City. Instead of the original Pinocchio plot, they decided to go like Careful What You Wish For plot, which is semi kind of like the Pinocchio plot. I was a little confused, but I think like with him not ending up as a real boy in the end is the difference, I suppose. And Nathan Lane did reprise his role as Spot after he finished with the producers on Broadway. And this does have a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. The animation style for this is so different than everything else going on at Disney at this time, and it was honestly really exciting to see such a different animation style on the big screen, you could say. I never saw it in theaters. This is my first time seeing it ever. But I really liked it. It was really beautiful, and it's a lot more like a lot of the modern animated shows now, so I feel like it was kind of like a little before its time animation-wise, although I see the bridge between like something like Rocko's Modern Life or Cat Dog and stuff like that, and between like what's popular animation right now and this, like I see the bridge between those two, but I would say this leans much more toward like what newer animation looks like. TV shows, I should say. But I really enjoyed the style. I thought it looked great. The Pinocchio music overture at the beginning threw me so much. I was like, this is Pinocchio's opening. I was like, what is happening? And then obviously like it's a dream and a joke and all that kind of stuff. But this movie is a musical, which I think I remember like researching it saying something about that, but I don't read like plot synopsis or anything like that before I watch a movie I've never seen because I don't want to spoil it for myself. And this is like a musical. Like I thought it was, I mean, it's not like a musical where like there's no speaking scenes. That's a full-fledged musical, like Into the Woods, where there's really no talking. It's just all the songs are the scenes. But this does have much more of a musical vibe compared to like Beauty and the Beast or Little Mermaid or something like that. This, like, the songs felt so Broadway musical-esque, and they honestly were really good. So I was like so pleasantly surprised that this was a musical. The opening number was so fun. I think there was one number that I was like, okay, I could like live without this one, but the rest of them were so good, and I was genuinely like so excited by the fact that it was a musical and it was like funny. It was like a comedy musical, which like they don't really do a lot at Disney, so I was super excited for that. The whole concept of this movie is the dog Spot wants to be a boy, and the dog's owner, the boy Leonard, wants his dog to stay a dog. Like, that's pretty much the concept. And I would assume that's the concept for the show, because from what I gathered, like, he's a very intelligent dog, and he disguises himself as a boy named Scott to go to school with Leonard. And in this, it's like he's trying to actually achieve his dream of becoming a real boy, so he can be a boy. It was hilarious to me because it wasn't until like kind of a decent way into this that I realized the mom has no idea that Spot poses as Scott, Leonard's friend from school. Like, I didn't realize that she didn't know that their dog is also posing as a person. So that was really funny. The mom falling in love with him when he does get changed into a man, hilarious. That was so funny. This was not what I expected at all. I have no idea what I expected. I don't think I had any expectations, but once I was in it, I knew that it wasn't what I expected, and I'm so glad for it because it was so fun and it was funny. Nathan Lane will always and forever be Timon in my heart, but he did a really great job in this. Nathan Lane never does a bad job. He's got such a distinct, memorable voice. And then the rest of the cast is also so stacked, which I had no idea. Like, I'd never watched Teacher's Pet, so I had no idea that, like, the cast And this show, like, I feel like the show must have been more popular than I realized. And this movie has a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I feel like this movie did better than I realized, because I remember this coming out because I remember Christy Carlson Romano's song. And being like, oh, okay, whatever, like, I've never heard it, like, I don't really care. But it must have done well. I'm like, okay, dang. Because all I knew about this movie was Christy Carlson Romano saying the, like, teacher's pet, because it played on Disney Channel, I was convinced she was in the movie, because in my mind, she only ever sang for movies she was in. But no, she's not in it. She just sings the song, and the song actually plays in the credits, which is great. The Pinocchio thing at the beginning was an insane start to the movie, and just, like, set it up, and then the opening number was so good, like I mentioned. But again, this was genuinely funny. The sequence where Spot/Scott pretends to be all the members of Scott's family to, like, convince Mrs. Helperman to let Scott come on the trip or whatever is hilarious, and Nathan Lane really got to flex in that scene. And then he said something about, like, all this singing, I feel like I'm Von Trapped, which is, like, a whole thing on a Von Trapp family. It was a whole joke. It was really great. There's a couple Mickey Mouse moments, which was great. Money Might Be the Root of All Evil song took me out. That was so funny. And then any time that Mrs. Helperman said a version of Leonard's name, it was so good, but my favorite was Lenny Benny Beanbag. It was so funny, Lenny Benny Beanbag. But anyway, this was really fun, which I should say, I was a little wary about this being 600 because I was in a little bit of a tight spot because we transitioned into 2004 right at the end here. Like, right at the end. I think Pixel Perfect was our first 2004 movie, so I only had a little bit of room to move around, and there weren't that many that close and all that kind of stuff. So I was a little wary that Teacher's Pet was going to be 600 because it's not, you know, we've had some pretty big 100 marks. I think our only, like, super, like, not well-known 100 was 200 with The Ghost of Buxley Hall, because otherwise it's been like Jungle Book, Little Mermaid, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Emperor's New Groove. Like, we've had bigger ones, so I was a little nervous for Teacher's Pet to be 600, but then it ended up being like a hidden gem, and I'm so excited because it was so fun. I highly recommend. I have to download the soundtrack because honestly it goes off, I'm not gonna lie to you, and I really enjoyed this. My final rating is 8. Ooh, this is fun. 8 Pinocchios out of 10. Our total movie count is. Parents at Salt and Cry count are still the same. If you want to keep up with the movie I'm watching when, follow me on Instagram or Twitter. You'll find out what movie I'm watching when. I put out videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday, but obviously it's been every day for the week of guests, and now tomorrow will be the anniversary video. Join Patreon. Patreon, you still have until the 31st to join Patreon and get a benefit from the tier above the tier you signed up for. So for instance, if you join the $1 Pluto tier, you can get access to all 31 trivia questions. Not 31 yet because they come out daily, but all the trivia questions that have been out since August 1st that are typically only there for Goofy patrons and above are there for Pluto patrons too. So for $1, you could join in the daily trivia and have so much fun. Merch is also still 25% off until the 31st with Pet 600. Do you finally understand the code? 600, Teacher's Pet, come on. So be sure to buy merch with the Pet 600 25% off coupon. Thank you so much, you guys. I cannot believe we made it to 600. I didn't do like any kind of like themed thing. I didn't know what I would have done. I was a teacher's pet. I feel like that's theme enough. Like, I was a goody two shoes, straight A honor student. So I brought myself. And I can sing, so I also brought that. But yeah, no, 600. Thank you so much. I cannot believe it's been 6 years. I'll talk all about that in the anniversary video, though. I hope you had a great time. If you had a great time, comment down below. If you like Teacher's Pet, comment down below. If you don't, tell me why. Tell me why down below. Otherwise, okay, until next time, comment, like, subscribe, but I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so you do you, and don't be, I would say Dr. whatever his name is, Kelsey Grammer's character. Dr. Crank. It's a little shade town. Maybe don't be him. Teacher's pet. I wanna be teacher's pet. I wanna be graded, rated. Don't wanna know. I don't know the words.